Also, we brought on board different experts. Then we had a chance to bring on board people infected by COVID-19 and to discuss with those youth. So these are the activities that we are doing. So we are making sure that there is a well-structured, especially that is looking at the current epidemic, and then we are also emphasizing the social aspect, And then also we had discussion around education, and also we also discussed about different restrictions that have been taken by different states. But now, today, we have different rural areas, and those areas do not have access to internet. And so we are trying to reflect on that together with different platforms of youth to see how we could be able to disseminate our messages in those areas. And then today,
on va dire, on arrive au post-Covid-19, on commence à voir les conséquences, mais on est beaucoup sur de la spéculation.
Today, of course, we are facing the COVID-19, but majority of information that we are receiving, many of them are fake news or rumors. So we therefore need to put in place different concrete action. So basically, this is what we are doing, and what I'm suggesting, because from this campaign, we are trying to improve our actions. We really want to impact and also to share our ways of doing things with other different organizations, because I believe that we are not the only one who have put in place this type of campaign. We are ready to share with others and ready to work together in order to improve within the Western Africa. I have just shared with you a link so that each and every organization that are interested to what we are doing, they can click this link and they will be able to access more information. And we will be able also to share what we are doing, and then later on we may discuss together how to improve our effort. And the last item that was raised by Mr. Raoul is that it's the establishment of a system of different organizations. And today, within our organization, we have a consortium that brought together different actors as civil society, different association, investors, and also the decision makers. The idea is to strengthen different initiatives that are taken by youth in a broader manner, because we have so many different associations, and those associations are represented in this consortium. So through these platform, we will be able to reach more organization and also to reach the government and to discuss and to be able to discuss with early marriages within children and so on. So I think for me it was important to raise those issues. Today we are also we are about to establish more alliances with different organizations, and also we are ready to work with different organizations out of our country. So if you are interested to work with us, do not hesitate to contact us. So I would like to share the link.
Et puis voilà, surtout n'hésitez pas.
And so do not hesitate to contact us. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Allô?
Hello, Fatoumata. Merci beaucoup pour.
Hello, Fatoumata. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much. And this really now take us to the question and answer session.
Adressé aux panélistes. Donc, la première question, c'est...
So the first question is as follows. It is Mr. Antoine from KOMLAN. What are the activities that are done? What are the activities that you're doing at the country level, different country levels? And then the following question, I think so far it is the only question that we have. So in order to answer this question, at the country level, you know that FOSCAO do not conduct so many activities, but other organizations members of these organizations that I just mentioned were able to conduct activities. I can give some example as Guinea, Togo, Ivory Coast. So in many countries, a lot of activities were conducted, but it was not directly conducted by the main organization. But we need to make sure to improve their visibility in different parts, in different regions as well. So there is another question that was asked. Let me read the question.
OK. Coordination au niveau de la COVID avec la...
In terms of COVID-19 coordination, within ECOWAS, it is true that we have some commitment. We are working together, and then we also prepare recommendation, and we have done it before, and we have shared with the ECOWAS. Now, in terms of child policies and children, because KAO is preparing also a number of videos and campaigns regarding the sensitization of that organization. And I think it is important to inform you about that, because we believe that they are putting serious effort in order to make themselves visible, especially with ECOWAS, because they need to discuss issues related to the protection of children, and the rights of children are taken into account.
En sorte que l'on puisse interpeller ultimement chacun des pays.
So we need this type of campaign will enable us to bring on board any other country that is part of the ECOWAS community. I would like to add something with regard to this question. Just to, I would like just to give some example as an organization. As SF, we are working with different African movements, especially in terms of coordination. And also we are trying to organize a different workshop, and those workshops will look at how to train youth, and then also to teach those youth to understand, to learn about different techniques in terms of advocacy. So these are some of the activities that we are working on, and this is what I wanted to say about what we are doing within our organization. So we really emphasize on advocacy. Thank you.
Oui, merci, Fatoumata.
Thank you, Fatoumata.
Moi, ce que je voudrais...
What I wanted to add...
Allô? Oui, vous pouvez.
Oui, Raoul Latouf, Sénégal, CONAF.
Raoul from Senegal.
Fatoumata, aujourd'hui qu'au niveau de la CONAF Sénégal,
today in Senegal, we already made videos with regard to COVID-19. I think it will be better people to come together and share what has been done in order to improve the implementations of our activities with regard to COVID-19. So we need to share our activities with other country members. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Raoul.
C'est plaisir d'entendre ce que vous dites, parce que c'est vraiment la vision que l'on a aujourd'hui de notre
This is exactly the vision that we have. We have a vision of conducting campaign to get serious in campaign, because the idea it is to see what others are doing and then how we can work together, trying to look at what has been done and then see how we could improve on what was already done. So, I think let me remind you that I've just shared our link, and I hope the moderator will share it to the other members. And also, I am ready to get in touch with different existing organizations.
C'est très bien.
Very well.
Très bien, merci.
Thank you very much.
Les contacts des gens, je pense qu'on va, on va s'assurer que les gens.
We will make sure that people to get the link that you have just given to me.
Les différentes questions. Si je vois, je pense que bonjour tout le monde.
Let me read the following questions.
KOMLAN, we are missing you.
KOMLAN, we can't hear you.
En direct. Félix, est-ce que c'est mieux maintenant?
Is it clear now?
Okay, now.
Is it clear?
C'est très bien. Donc,
okay, that is good. So,
je dis que je tiens à remercier les participants.
I will say that I would like to thank panelists and also delegates. It was very interesting to discuss with you, and I want you to invite. I call upon you to invite more of your friends and then to share what we are doing here. So I think I'm going to wind up with my presentation, and then we're going to move to the third presentation. And I hope the next presenter is ready. And this is Aimé Bada. I hope Samira connection is okay now. So the next presentation will be done by Aimé Bada. Aimé, could you introduce yourself? Thank you very much.
Hello, Aimé.
Hello, Aimé.
Est-ce que Aimé est connecté?
Si, je suis connecté.
Aimé, are you connected?
Good morning, everybody. Comment vous allez?
Good morning, everyone. How are you doing during this period of COVID-19? My name is Aimé Bada, and I work for Tiers Monde.
Je suis dans une équipe de NDA Tiers Monde qui accompagne le mouvement africain des enfants et jeunes travailleurs.
And I'm a part of a team that's in charge of young children, and our organization is based in different countries in Africa. So I represent NDA, and I'm also the Secretariat of the regional region. So I represent ECOWAS.
Dans ce contexte de COVID, notre organisation
in this COVID context,
dans un premier temps à elle-même prendre position
what we did as an organization, we really decided to advocate for different communities. We made sure that all decisions that will be taken by states, the different states, to really underline the cases of different communities within our region. We are also supporting this organization. We also support the youth, working youth in our society. And we are really push those young children to really be empowered in a place of work, because we know that some of them are working. So we are calling those youth to meet other youth, to go places like market and entertainment area for children, really motivate them to go and see what is happening. If young children are taken care of, we train them in terms of like making videos and coming up with posters, banners. And then we had also to conduct campaign to explain them about the reality of COVID-19. And those young boys were able to share this message with adults, because some of the adults in our country, they used to believe that COVID-19 was just something that was created by a government and people. So we've also worked. We also really emphasize on training. We came up with a number of trainings for the youth. We train them about the different symptoms of COVID-19, and also we've given them a lot of information about COVID-19. And we use WhatsApp and different social platforms. And also we use different games in order to inform the children and young people. And then also we try to make a difference between the fake news and the real news that is spread about the COVID-19. We are also working on a small documents that will be shared to other organizations that are working with youth in order to inform the youth regarding the COVID-19 situation. We had also the support of different associations. And together with those looking at the situation of children with regard to the COVID-19, so we created different groups, and through those groups we were able to discuss about the COVID-19 vis-a-vis to children, because we recognize that some children, because some children before COVID-19 used to go through so many things, through so many issues. So we had to come together to discuss and see how to take care of those young children. We also got involved in the distribution of different protective material. and I believe that my sister Anita may have been at a later stage in order to tell us more. So this is what we are doing. Now, as I told you, I'm also part of the Secretariat of our organization that is based in Dakar. It's a different organization, but based in Dakar. So we are. We in this second group or association that I belong to, we work with the right of children, and we had also the chance to work with ECOWAS, and we were able to come up with a plan, and these plan were looking at any issue related to marriage of children, and also the health of children from the time they are born. So with ECOWAS, with regard to COVID, we worked together to have a common document. Then we came up with the documents. We came up with at least 16 recommendations that we worked to, that we made, or that we prepared together with ECOWAS. We've been doing that before the COVID-19, but since this crisis, we had to stop a little bit, but we will continue again to come up with this document, to finalize this document. But we believe that very soon we will be able to get back to normal. So this is what I wanted to share with you before I give the floor to Efas Namuge. He is the national delegate of our organization, and
voilà, donc jusqu'à arriver à ce niveau de délégué qui aujourd'hui.
So today, this organization plays a role as a leader, especially within different communities. So I'm going to give the floor to Konombe, and Konombe is going to tell us very briefly what they are doing.
Anita. Hello, Anifat.
Hello, Anifat.
Hello, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, Anifat.
Good
Hello.
morning.
Yes, how are you?
Hello.
Yes, Anifat, go on.
Good morning.
Yes, you can go.
I'm fine.
Yeah, thank you. Take the floor now.
My name is Nugbonode Ha. I'm representing the Association of Working Children and Youth. I'm the national delegate of Nigeria. In our organization, we work with children and young youth to protect the rights of the children, also the young youths, so that their rights won't be violated. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we have been able to do something to prevent the children and the young youth from it. Both the children, the young youth, and the leaders have been able to carry out some actions. From the leaders, we did some sensitizations in different communities to make sure people knows about the existence of the virus, because most people didn't believe there is something like COVID-19. If you are telling them there is a virus now which is COVID-19, they might tell you it's a conch fever or something else. But we did some sensitization from different associations in the grassroots, in different communities, to let people know something is COVID-19. Also, we created some group chats on social medias, on like WhatsApp, Facebook. We added people in it to teach them some preventive measures to be taken to prevent this virus, not to contact the virus. In this group, we also did some trainings. We invited some doctors which gave us some word of advice, how the disease, the virus spread, how to contact it, and how to prevent the disease. We also did some meetings on how to maintain social distances, not to avoid body contact, not to contact the virus. We also did some capacity buildings. During this capacity building, we teach people some items, how to make some items which you can use to, like, washing of hands. We made some hand washing basins to wash our hands. Also, the hand sanitizers. We made some hand sanitizers during the trainings. We can use the hand sanitizers to clean up our hands whenever we do anything like shaking, which is avoided. Also, we made some flyers in some rural areas which they are not able to use the social media. We made some flyers like drawings and comic. We made some comic flyers like drawing things like how to wash our hands, how to use the nose covers, how to avoid body contact. We drew it on the flyers and pasted it in the community so that the people will be able to understand the information. We also did some advocacies in the communities to inform people about the COVID-19 also and the preventive measures. The leaders in the communities also help with funds like money to buy some items used for the preventive measures. Like I said earlier on, the nose mask, the soap we used to wash our hands, the hand washing basins, and the nose mask also. That is what we have been able to do for now. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Nugbonode. And in fact, just precise that what's an impact. Okay, laissez-moi parler plutôt français, pour ne pas perturber les traducteurs.
Allow me to speak English. So Anifak gave us a briefing about what they have done, especially at the community level, and they were able to conduct the activity in different, let's say, hundreds of different communities within Africa. So we are going to give the floor to our colleague from Guinea. And our colleague also took part in different activities as like training in Nigeria and in other African countries.
Hello? Olakunle is there?
Olakunle, are you there?
Yeah, hello.
Olakunle, are you there?
Yeah, hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. My name is Olakunle Sanni. I work with street children through School in the Street International, and presently I also serve as the National Secretary for Child Protection Network in Nigeria. But basically, I'm going to be talking about street children as regards my work with through School in the Street. For introduction, School in the Street is basically a non-profit organization like education center, which provides basic education to street children, ensuring that they're able to have access to rights, to enjoy their rights to education like every other normal child. Because as the charter has it, no child should be denied right to education, irrespective of his or her condition, his or her social status, his or her economic background, his or her, whether the child is staying in a home or not. So we intend to do this and not just using that education. Uh, Looking beyond the education, we're also using that to reintegrate and rehabilitate these children. So we are using education not just for them to have access to basic literacy, but also to ensure that they are fully rehabilitated and formally reintegrated back into the society. Like I said, over time, we know that the implementation of the Africa, well, while many countries have adopted this and ratified, like in Nigeria, I know it's the combination of the Charter and the UNCRC that gave birth to the CRA, that is the Child Right Act. But yet, there are many things still lacking, even though the Charter provides for Article 5, which talks about the survival and development, Article 11, which talks about education, Article 14 or thereabout, which talks about health and health services for children. Despite these things being provided for in the charter and also in our national laws, many of these things still are still lacking in our country. So when you even consider that the average child who is assumed to be normal in quotes because they stay at home, I mean, they are still under their parents' supervision and the rest. They are not even able to enjoy these services. What more of a child who lives on the street, whom has not been able, many people are seen as deviant, many people are seen as someone who is out of control and the rest. So for organization, this has pushed us to do many things. And since the beginning of lockdown in Nigeria and particularly Lagos, where we work, and other states, we have ensured that we provide um, daily meal to these street children. I mean, for a period of like when there was lockdown in Lagos State, for a period of 30 days, we continuously provide daily meal to these street children, particularly in areas where we already set up our mobile classrooms. So at least because we know that without that, these children, the source of income for a street child is when there are activities all around. And when the lockdown shutdown means there is shutdown of all activities, and so many children are unable to find something to do. No labor, no cleaning, no begging, nobody to beg to even give you money and the rest. So we have to ensure that, I mean, to reduce their involvement in crime and the rest, we have to ensure that we provide them with daily meal. And outside that, we also ensure that we're able to provide them with basic hygiene kits like the sanitizers, which is obviously needed for this period. We also talk them about the hand washing exercise. I mean, washing your hand up to the 20 seconds, and also giving them what are the signs to look out for among themselves. And to some extent, we're able to talk to some local primary centers that if these children ever contact, who can they? But that didn't record a lot of success at all, because they discriminate against them. They are not able to. I mean, they are not even open and ready to accept them and the rest of that. And so So we also ensure that we provide these children with lines. I mean, we provided our lines for them so that whenever they are in different situation, even if they can't go to the hospital themselves, they can always reach out to us and let us, and we will take action on it. They may not be able to move around, but we as actors and their advocates, we will ensure we find a way around to get to them and get the government agencies to do the appropriate thing. But like many people have noted, and like it is in many African countries, including Nigeria.
Pas mal de gens l'ont constaté, donc pas mal de pays africains.
Hello, can you please mute?
Nigeria.
Like it is in many other countries, including Nigeria.
Comme ceci se passe dans d'autres pays africains, y compris le Nigeria.
Our government are playing, they are not playing active role in protecting these children on the street.
Donc les gouvernements ne jouent pas vraiment un rôle prépondérant ou actif pour pouvoir protéger ces enfants.
Daoudi, switch on your interpretation. We can hear you in the main room. Please switch on your button because you're not showing your interpretation button is not on.
Yeah.
Can I go on?
Just a minute.
But I think you need to understand me because
Olakunle, you can continue. Yeah.
Do you hear me now?
Okay. So the government have not shown many seriousness in terms of trying to provide for the needs of these children, even though these things are enshrined in the child rights. In the charter. And also in the child rather, but there is very, very low level of implementation in terms of this. I've hardly seen any government in Nigeria, except they are being pushed to talking about the street children issues. And, these children are the one in public spaces. They are the one, because the essence of lockdown is to ensure that people do not go into public spaces. But these ones are there. They have no other place to go to than to stay on the street right there in dwelling places, marketplaces, where distance can easily, where COVID-19 can easily be contracted, and yet governments are paying very, very little attention to this, and it's a serious concern for us, and we think that if as we celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Charter, if we're able to drive this home and get our governments in various countries to do the needful, so that they need to also remember that for us to have a peaceful and secured and a well-developed society, we cannot continue to have these children on the street the way we do now. And so so for us, we are continuing with our advocacy, and we are also working with in Nigeria now. There's a consortium for street children which is formed so that this advocacy can get stronger, so that it won't be one single organization which is doing this. So and I think many other organizations too individually are also doing many other things. I know about Amajiri, some people who are fighting for Amajiri. There's another section, another section of the street children, basically in the northern part. But even though they have extended down to Nigeria. So on a last note, I just want to appreciate the organizers of this and say that we are also available to work all around the country and around the region to be able to ensure that street children get the necessary support. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you, everyone. God bless Africa. God bless West Africa. God bless Nigeria.
Merci beaucoup. Tous les collègues ici présents, tous ceux qui nous suivent, on doit se rendre compte à partir de ce panel qu'effectivement, il y a encore beaucoup de défis qui se dressent devant nous. Ce contexte de Covid nous montre beaucoup de défis, de challenges qu'il faut effectivement relever. So we need to work together. So we need to synergize. So we need also some young who are also involved in who can just put in their effort in protecting the youth. So in this context of COVID-19, it's the effort of resilience on which we need to work, and our government should also be involved.
support fully. And so with the support of partners, I think we continue to work and head to the good direction. So we also thank everyone for your efforts in this endeavor.
KOMLAN, tu te retournes où Samira, si elle est arrivée?
Je suis là.
If Samira, so I'm there. So thank you very much for your presentation, because we can see people who master their topic.
So others also will enjoy the translation beauties. So let me just switch in English. Thank you very much, Aimé, for your presentation. It's really appreciated. Yes?
You have to help me translate these. When they go to the French, tell them they need to make sure they have muted the original sound so they don't hear the feedback from the main room. So when they move to French, they need to switch off the original sound. Tell them to mute so that they can hear a clear translation. Without that, they will hear a lot of feedback. Please translate that for me.
Okay. Could you please mute so you will be able to enjoy better the translation? So put yourself on mute for the original, your original sound.
Now in French.
Now in French. You're French. You need to mute your French, right?
No. Yes, they need to mute the original. There'll be two original. There'll be the French, and there will be the translation and the original one. So they need to mute the original one so that they can hear the translation. Please, I'm saying you translate for me that in French so that they can be able, when they are moving, they know.
Ok, pour pouvoir écouter bien la traduction, si vous êtes francophone, faites un mute.
Follow the interpretation. When you're francophone, you need to look at mute and mute the original audio so that you follow only the interpretation.
Merci. Donc, je vais continuer en anglais.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Aimé, for your presentation, and thanks to the different people who actually let us know what is happening on the ground, and really we appreciate that. That is the dynamism that reflects the dynamism of the children and real children participation in this forum, and this is really what we wanted. So let's go to the questions. The first one is from Matthew Carley. Matthew Carley said that we've been reading through the news outlets of the massive testing kits being produced by the government of Senegal. How are civil society involvement in the process with the government and the civic space provided? And so that is a question from Matthew Carley. Another question, actually this is in French, so I'm going to read it in French. This question comes from Anonymous Attendee. It says...
C'est une question qui vient de quelqu'un anonyme. It's a contribution of Mali. So when you talk about child protection, you need to put together all the national structures. So in Mali, we put in place an action plan with many meetings that have been organized online with videos to fight again and how to behave within the pandemic of COVID-19.
Organizations are doing in Mali as far as the COVID-19 is concerned for the protection of children. For other questions, I think we've exhausted the questions. There is no other questions that I can see here. So I think we are within our time. We are within the time that we have in the agenda. So I will maybe let either Jennifer or Felicitas to have a conclusion of this CSO forum. I want to take this opportunity to thank all the attendees. We've been, 51 at some time people who have attended this important conference. Thanks to all the partners, Plan International, all that helped us, all the team members. I'm thinking of people from the movement, James, MA, people from Social Change Factory, people from WACSOF, everybody. If I forget anybody, please help me, but it is not on purpose. Aida, all those people, this has been a great demonstration of a teamwork, positive contribution, and we thank all the West African dynamic civil society to be involved, and that is what we want, a conscious and dynamic civil society for a better citizen's life. Thank you very much.
Felicitas? Feli?
Great. Thank you so much, KOMLAN, and thank you to all the participants, and particularly to the presenters for having made us appreciate more of what has been done in the region. And I particularly like some of the recommendations for going forward, where you indicated that there's a need that we continue to share what has been done in the region collectively, but across the regions as well, and that you are also willing to come on board to the CSO Forum and ensure that the region is represented, and that other regions can also learn from the West Africa region in terms of what you are doing. I think as we go forward, on Monday, we are having more conversation with children to appreciate what the effects of COVID-19 on their lives has been in Africa, so that as we meet on the 3rd of June, discussion around COVID-19 and particularly discussing it with the African Committee of Experts would be informed as well by lived experiences of children, and therefore we invite the presentations that were being made, particularly around issues of children in the streets, to also form part of that conversation, so that we can have a very strong position around COVID-19.
I want to...
We lose the conversation for some minutes, please. Okay.
And as we conclude, colleagues, you should be aware that the CSO Forum is currently also drawing its strategic plan. For some of these conversations that we had today are conversations that are going to form part of the strategic plan going forward. And we invite you that you come on the 3rd of June. As soon as we have released the registration link, please do register, and please ask other colleagues that couldn't make it to this meeting today, because we also are cognizant of the fact that the communication was also late in terms of mobilizing everybody who needed to be part of the conversation today. So let them come as well for the bigger conversation on Wednesday next week, on the 3rd of June. And we'll be having other stakeholders there as well, particularly the committee